What is up, everyone? This is the Jose Show. I hope everyone's having a fantastic Wednesday. I am so happy to give you guys all the tea that I always give to you guys on today's show. So now let's get started, shall we? Let's start off with Rihanna. Rihanna is apparently on her third trimester of her pregnancy. She also revealed that she is psycho to have her baby already. Well, in an interview with Elle, the 34-year-old singer shared her plans for her future life as a mom, revealing that she's entered her third trimester. There's a pregnancy glow. There's also those days, girl, especially in the third trimester, where you wake up and you're like, oh, do I have to get dressed? Rihanna admitted. The face gets a little round and chubby. The nose starts to spread. Everything is a challenge, from getting dressed and how you're going to do your makeup. But I like challenges. I like things that force me to be creative and create new ways. That's what Rihanna stated. She will definitely find ways to be creative as a mother, the Fenty Beauty founder admitted that as a fan of the Real Housewives franchise, although she admires the chick parenting style from Real Housewives of Orange County's Heather Dubrow, she thinks her parenting style will be more akin to that of Real Housewives of New Jersey's Teresa Judas. Now, Rihanna got to say this. Heather Dubrow is so chick wild being a mom. Just love the way that she just allows her kids to be who they are, and that's really inspiring to me, she said. But Teresa from Jersey does not play about her kids. She'll flatten you about those kids, and that resonates with me a lot because I feel like that's the type of mom I'm going to be. Psycho about it, you talk about my kids, it's over. Ain't well. A source tells ET that Dubrow is freaking out and flattered by the compliments Rihanna paid her in her new feature with Elle. Alrighty then, this is actually a pretty um, cool interview. Um, I think that Rihanna, in my opinion, is going to be a really good mom because I can already tell by how awesome she is as a person, how dedicating she is, how um, positive she is, how influencing she is, how um, creative she is, not just as an artist but also as a person. And with all of that being said, she is going to definitely help her daughter out big time with all of those things. And her daughter is going to be so happy and so proud of the mom that she has. And she is definitely going to be, maybe in my opinion, going to follow Rihanna's footsteps once Rihanna gets to be influencing her into all of these things, because then she's gonna be like, oh my god, well, my mom is the one being a singer. She's the one being the fashion designer and the fashion owner of her own fashion line. She has her own makeup line. She um, is also an actress, and she has done a lot more, and maybe that's something that I could do. Oh my god, you know? And also, Rihanna's gonna be like, well, you know, honey, I am going to help you out. You are my daughter, and I know how you can get to success because I myself have gone to success, you know. So that's how I think is gonna be the relationship between Rihanna and her daughter. And I also think that Rihanna's daughter is also going to be that kind of daughter that is going to show off the type of mom that she has and this and that. I mean, I can already imagine that cute relationship between the mom and daughter. And I can already imagine that Rihanna's daughter is going to look a lot like Rihanna because, I mean, in a lot of cases, in my opinion, the daughters do look a lot like their moms. And I mean, if that's the case, then Rihanna's daughter is going to look gorgeous, you know, especially because Rihanna has really nice eyes. Just saying. So, anywho, that's my take on this. And I really am hoping and I really am wishing Rihanna, you know, a good, beautiful life as a mother, and especially, you know, to have um, such great adventures and such great times with her own daughter. I'm wishing her the best on her motherhood. I really am, especially since it's going to be her first time being a mom. Alrighty then, so now from Rihanna to now more hot tea. So from Rihanna to now more hot tea. Well, let's talk about Lisa Kudrow. Lisa Kudrow says she thinks a Romy and Michelle sequel would be really fun. Well, Lisa Kudrow is all in for a Romy and Michelle's high school reunion sequel. ET's Matt Cohen spoke to Kudrow at the premiere of her new film, Better Nate Than Never, in Hollywood Tuesday, which was yesterday, where she dished on the possibility of revisiting the 90s classic. Well, Kudrow got to say this: "Tell Disney you want a sequel." And then she also said, "Robin Schiff will figure it out. She's got ideas brewing." And that's what she said. And that's when she also said when she was asked if she would return for part two of that show. Well, anyways, Kudrow told ET she'd be on board too, adding that it would be interesting what Romy and Michelle are up to these days. Yeah, I would. I think it would be really fun. And then a little like, what are they like at our age? So that's another thing that Kudrow also said. Well, fans got a glimpse of what a Romy and Michelle sequel would look like at the Screen Actors Guild Awards last month when she and her former co-star Myra Sorvino reunited to present the award for Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Comedy Series. The pair paid tribute to their iconic bestie characters from the beloved classic with a hilarious monologue and the bright pink and shimmering blue suits they rocked for the occasion, which thematically inspired by the iconic styles they made famous in the 1997 comedy. While fans will have to wait and see if their Romy and Michelle dreams come true, they won't have to wait for a new movie from Kudrow. In the 58-year-old actress's latest film, she plays Aunt Heidi, the former Broadway star, and of Nate Foster, a struggling middle schooler who looks to his aunt to help him achieve his dream of seeing his name in lights. Kudrow said she very much enjoyed working on the incredible Tim Federi directed film based on his 2013 novel of the same name. Alrighty then, so this is actually pretty interesting news. You know what, if Lisa Kudrow returns to making a sequel of that show, then you know what, I think that would be very dope, especially for all the fans out there of that show, because, I mean, nowadays we got a lot of sequels going on here, and a lot of people have been impressed with the sequels that have come out of classic shows already, you know, because let's be real here, these actors that are iconic, that did these iconic shows, these classic shows, they still have their own good personality that will still get them to do the show well, and that will still get them to do the show the way it used to be, and it will really motivate the audience the same way it used to motivate them, you know? So that's my take on this. Now, my personal opinion though, and my personal suggestion, if they end up making a Romy and Michelle sequel, I would suggest that they bring back only the original characters of that show, and they don't get to bring any new characters into the show. Because what happens is that if they end up bringing new characters into the show, then that's just going to ruin the show, because then that's just going to make the show very different compared to the original series, and it's really not going to even feel like they're really watching the original series at all. And I also think that with putting original characters, it's also going to make them believe that they're back in those good old days again, that they're watching that good old show again, and that they're enjoying it again. And also, if they end up bringing new characters, what's going to end up happening is that it's really going to dull up the show because let's be real here. Yes, there's a lot of good new talent these days, but we have to admit that there's also talent that's not so good these days. And that would just ruin a good old classic show sequel. So that's why I personally think that that's how it should be. They should really bring in just the good old characters back into the sequel. If the sequel ends up returning, and if the sequel comes to life. All right then. So now from Lisa Kudrow to now more hot tea. Now let's talk about Will Smith. Will Smith says it feels beautiful to be recognized for his work in King Richard. Well, Will Smith is soaking it all in E.T.'s Rachel Smith spoke to the King Richard star at the National Board of Review Gala in New York City yesterday about his award season wins and what it means to him to be recognized for his work in the film. It feels great. I was saying to someone the other night, this is what I'm always trying to do. I'm always trying to make something that resonates and the message penetrates. I am just taking the ride. It feels beautiful to be in this wave of love that people have for this film, Smith told E.T. And the I Am Legend actor joked that he'd normally talk up his accolades, but this time around he said he's being dragged around by the good angels as he picks up award after award for his portrayal of Richard Williams, the father of Venus and Serena Williams. In addition to his National Board of Review win, Smith has already picked up a Golden Globe and NAACP Image Award, BAFTA, Screen Actors Guild Award, and most recently a Critics' Choice Award for the film, which details his journey in raising his daughters to become the tennis icons they are today. Under normal circumstances, I would say something about what I planned and how I knew we were going to be here. And I remember from the first time I read the screenplay, I just knew, Smith quipped. I am being dragged around by the good angels on this one. Alrighty then. That's what Will Smith stated. So, anywho, this is what I think. I think that Will Smith deserves to win all these awards because he really did a really good job playing the father of Serena and Venus Williams in that film. He did a marvelous job. And also, Will Smith is an iconic actor. He has done a really good job with all of the films, with all of the shows that he has starred in throughout all of these decades that he's been in the business. And let's not forget him playing Will Smith on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I mean, that was one of the best roles he has ever done in his career because, I mean, he was comedic, he was being himself. He was definitely one of the most iconic and most highlighted characters, not just of the 90s, but also of all time with the character that he played off of that show. And let's not forget, I mean, the other roles that he has done, Men in Black, and lots of more iconic, such wonderful films. He did Aladdin, well, the voice of Aladdin, yeah, on the movie, I forgot the name of the cartoon Disney movie that it was in. It was called Aladdin. The movie was called Aladdin. He starred as the genie. I remember. He did a really good job in that movie as well. I literally love how true he's been to himself all these years and how focused he's been as well. And not only has he been focused with his own career, but also he's been focused with his family life as well. He's been focused on his kids and of course on his lovely wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, the one and only Jada Pinkett Smith, who happens to have a reality show called Red Table Talk, which, by the way, is killing it, by the way. It is doing phenomenal. So, Yeah, I really am proud of Will Smith for how far he has gone in his life and in his career. And I feel like that man deserves not just awards for the roles that he has been in, but also I feel like he needs an achievement award too. I feel like he is due for an achievement award or for an icon award for all of what he has done. You know, I feel like the Oscars need to hand him that one, or any other award show, definitely. So, anywho, congrats to Will Smith on all of his wins so far, and good luck to him on this year's Oscars. Alrighty then, so now from Will Smith to now, more hot tea. Alrighty then, so now let's talk about um the Bachelor finale. Alrighty then, so as all you Bachelor fans know, things have been going pretty drama and pretty um, interesting in these last few episodes of the season of The Bachelor. Alrighty then, so the Bachelor finale, Rachel asks Clayton if he said I love you to sleep with her. Well, Rachel has no remaining feelings for Clayton on Tuesday night's finale of The Bachelor. Rachel reunited with this season's leading man for the first time since he sent her home in Iceland. On part one of the show's season finale, Clayton confessed that he had expressed feelings of love to each of his final three women and said that he had been intimate with both Gabby and Rachel. Rachel decided to stay and meet Clayton's family despite feeling some lingering uncertainty. All seemed well when she won over those closest to him, but Clayton was still wondering what could have been with Susie, who departed the show after learning the extent of his feelings for an intimacy with the other two women. Susie did agree to meet with Clayton, and while she was thinking things over, he decided to end things with both Gabby and Rachel and tell them both at the same time. Well, on Tuesday night's episode, Rachel bashed Clayton for handling things the way that he did. Now, this is what happened. This is what's being stated. What you put us through at the rose ceremony, me choosing to stand there and you told me that you were willing to move forward to fight for this and that moving forward would make us stronger, and I believed you, she said. I continued to fight for you with your parents when I was heartbroken, telling them how much I love you when you put me in this car today. I'm not going to stop loving you. This is going to haunt you, the fact that you let me go. Rachel continued her criticism, telling Clayton, I fought for this every single day and you never once fought for me. He pushed back on that claim and told her, I won't take back anything that we had. I fought as hard as I could before I realized my heart wasn't going to allow me to go anywhere else. As he walked to the car, Rachel exclaimed, you gave up, I never gave up. In the car, Rachel appeared crushed over Clayton's seemingly emotionless reaction to their split. He didn't even shed a tear, he didn't even cry, she said through sobs. He was never in love with me. I'm so heartbroken, but at least I have an answer. Well, during the live portion of the episode, Rachel opened up about feeling completely blindsided by Clayton's behavior and the complete disrespect he showed to both her and Gabby. Watching myself, it feels like almost an out-of-body experience, she admitted. I do not have feelings for him anymore. Watching him completely disrespect Gabby and I don't feel like it's possible for me to watch that back and feel like someone who'd act like that could actually love me. Oh, Jesus, this whole entire situation is just a back and forth situation, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like, in my personal opinion, Gabby and Rachel, they should have been smart in the first place, and they should have just investigated this guy before getting together with this pig of a guy. Because in my personal situation, I mean, the more you investigate when you're about to get together with someone, the more safe you're gonna be, not just with yourself, but also with the person that you're with, you know? And you get to actually know what's actually going on and what you're actually putting yourself into, you know? And Gabby and Rachel did not do that at all. They just went in, they got confident, they were like, okay, well, Clayton seems like a cool guy, we're gonna get together with him. He's awesome. And unfortunately, that's not what ended up happening. And also, in my personal opinion, unfortunately, in this world that we live in, there are a lot of men and women too, let's not just put the drag on men, that easily cheat. They cheat and they think that it's okay to cheat. And they think that sex is just the first thing that should happen in a relationship and that is the most important thing in a relationship. When in reality, that's not the case. And another thing that I have to say is, I think that Gabby and Rachel, they have also been wasting their time fighting for this, really. Instead of fighting, instead of yelling, instead of going through such a bunch of ridiculousness, I feel like they should have just told Clayton, Clayton, we know what you've been up to. You're awful. You're not worth it. If you want to really fix things out with me, try to fix them. Try to talk them out with me. But that is it. Period. Not go off and fight and go back and forth and waste more time and then no. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. So yeah, that's just my opinion on this. And I really hope that on the next season of The Bachelor, there gets to be a faithful person, a faithful bachelor out there that will actually be faithful to the woman that they're with. You know, I really hope so. I really do. I mean, of course, there's gonna be more drama in the next season of The Bachelor. I mean, don't get me wrong, because I mean, that's what The Bachelor is all about. It's all about the drama. It's all about the love, which to me is hilarious. But I really hope that the drama doesn't end up turning into a point where there's a bunch of cheating and a bunch of ridiculousness involved, like there is already in this season. So, yeah. But anyways, to all of the people out there that are in a situation like that, y'all can learn from The Bachelor. You know, and be like, you know what? This person is going through the same thing I'm going through. I'm now learning the lessons of life from The Bachelor, and maybe I should not be in this situation or this relationship anymore. You know, I feel like it would definitely be a life lesson and a good life lesson from a show, life learning lesson coming from a show to all those people out there that are watching, that are going through the same situation. Alrighty then, so now from The Bachelor to now, of course, more. So now let's talk about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Alright, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson reflects on his complicated relationship with his late dad. Dwayne looks back on the relationship he had with his late father and admits it has its share of complications, and even though Rocky Johnson died a little over 2 years ago, the 49-year-old actor says they've never been closer. The baller star opened up to ET's Kevin Frazier about the life lessons his late father imparted on him and how they resonated with him after his father passed away in January of 2020. Johnson conjured up those memories while discussing his father's role portrayed by Joseph Lee Anderson in season 2 of Young Rock, which premieres Tuesday night on NBC, which was I think yesterday, or maybe next Tuesday, who knows. But anyway, I was an only child and I had a complicated relationship with my dad. Though he was my hero when I was a little boy, Johnson says. And I have a loving, supportive relationship with my mom, but all the lessons that my mom was able to teach me over the years I didn't realize because I was running around getting arrested and being an idiot at some points in my life. End quote. That's what Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said. Um, Johnson, who had lived in 13 different states by the time he was 13, said his father getting kicked out of his home at just 13 years old and becoming homeless proved to be a hardship that ultimately shaped the man who raised him with tough love. And then he got to say, but some of the things and the lessons that I learned from my old man, I didn't realize how critical those lessons were until years later. And to be honest with you, I didn't realize how important they were until he passed away. That's another thing that Johnson got to say. Now, Rocky Johnson, an iconic wrestling star himself, had what's called a deep vein thrombosis. His son would later reveal, which is essentially a blood clot in the leg. Rocky died quickly following a massive heart attack. Okay, well, you know what? I mean, when it comes to a family relationship, I mean, things can get really complicated. Sadly, there will be times when the mom doesn't get along with her daughter, or the father doesn't get along with her son, or the son with the father, vice versa. And, you know, sadly, that's what ends up happening. And it could be due to disagreements. It could be due to lack of confidence between interaction between the family. It could also be because um, the son or the father or the mother or the daughter has busy lives that will intervene with the family relationship or with the family life. And it could also be because, you know, there will just be times when, unfortunately, things could just get very ugly between the family. You know, there will be a lot of mistreating and disrespect going on between the family, which will also intervene with, you know, the family relationship. I'm not saying that Dwayne ever went through a disrespectful situation in his family life, but what I'm trying to say is that it could happen with other families, which could cause the, you know, break the bad relationship with other families. So that's my take on this. So, yeah. So, anywho, from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to now more hot tea. Um, Now let's talk about um, now let's talk about more hot tea, shall we? Yes, we shall. Alrighty then, so now let's talk about Sharon Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne recently got an interview um, by paparazzi. Well, got asked by paparazzi when she was out and about outside of a grocery store. And this was 2 weeks ago when this happened. The paparazzi was asking Sharon Osbourne, Sharon, will you ever return with CBS or with The Talk? And Sharon said, hell no. And she basically said that she had no interest in CBS anymore because of what happened to her last year when she got fired from The Talk. And she says that she's been so focused on other things and that now she is definitely not even planning on even visiting that show at all. So, and that she felt betrayed by the show and by the network as well. She said something like that when she was being asked by the paparazzi. And apparently, with all of that being said from Sharon Osbourne, it really is more than confirmed that Sharon Osbourne is definitely not getting along with anyone from the talk, especially with Cheryl Underwood, no, and especially because of the argument or the tough discussion that the both of them had last year, because of the whole entire situation that went on with Piers Morgan when Piers Morgan defended Meghan Markle. Because I mean when Sharon Osbourne defended Piers Morgan, when Piers Morgan was mocking Meghan Markle because of Meghan Markle's feelings of feeling harmed and attacked, about being in the life of the royal palace. And many people went after Piers Morgan, saying Piers Morgan was being racist, and because Meghan Markle's a black woman, and she mocked a black woman basically for her feelings. It was a big disaster last year with that situation, and Sharon Osbourne went on into his defense and said that Piers Morgan had the right to speech. It's called freedom of speech, and that he was just trying to say his only honest opinions. And she went on and defended him on Twitter, and she defended him on the talk, especially when she was in an argument with Cheryl Underwood, and Cheryl Underwood disagreed with Sharon Osbourne and then told Sharon Osbourne that she is not trying to attack Sharon, that she was just trying to approach to Sharon that it's wrong for her to be defending Piers Morgan, especially because to Cheryl it was racist to Sharon to defend Piers Morgan on mocking a black woman like Meghan Markle. So that's what it all happened, and then that's what ended up, like we all remember the talk got into a hiatus for like a good month, and then Sharon got fired, and from CBS, and to this day Sharon, I can tell, does not forgive at all for what happened to her. And Sharon Osbourne, I mean, she was one of the best hosts of the talk, I have to admit, and she was the only original co-host of the show that was left. She basically was, especially like the biggest star of the show too, let's be real here, especially because, I mean, she's the wife of Ozzy Osbourne. And yeah, and the fact that I remember the fact that she left the show, it really tore down the talk's ratings a lot. That the show was struggling in ratings for like a few months until the show finally found new hosts. But so that I remember all of that happened. But to be honest with you, I think that it's very sad though that Sharon Osbourne is still isn't forgiving the past, and is still not getting along with anyone from the talk, and is still not wanting to return to the talk at least as a guest, and just fix things up. It does make me sad, because I feel like when it comes to in an entertainment business, especially women should uplift each other. They should get along with each other. They should support one another. And there shouldn't be any arguing, any fighting at all. Especially because the people that are especially the women that do these talk shows, they are women that are basically role models to other women out there that are watching these talk shows every day, and that learn from these women in order to how to get along, and in order how to bond and get along with one another, especially in a group like it is with the talk. So, anywho, I'm really sad that Sharon Osbourne has to react this way. I'm really sad that Sharon Osbourne is still feeling betrayed, especially. So, yeah, that's my take on that. Well, anywho, that is it for today's show, you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of The Jose Show, and I'll be back with more of The Jose Show, so please stay tuned, and please make sure to follow me on social media if you guys haven't. So, have a nice day, and until next time. Peace.